All right. We're diving into modern generative AI with ChatGPT and OpenAI models.
hmm
So you're interested in AI that can actually create, right? Not just follow the rules.
Absolutely. That's the essence of generative AI. It's like, think about the difference between a computer that can beat you at chess.
Right, just by following the rules.
Exactly. Versus a computer that can compose a symphony.
Wow, yeah.
That's what we're talking about, pushing those creative boundaries.
That's a great analogy.
That's
So
good.
how did we get here? Where did this all begin?
Well, those early generative models, they were impressive for their time, but pretty limited.
Like trying to, I don't know, draw a perfect circle 1,000 times.
Exactly. A lot of effort for, not quite there. Then came the neural networks and this really cool thing called GANs,
Jans!
generative adversarial
It's
networks.
okay, I've heard that term, but honestly, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually means.
So imagine two AI artists, right? Constantly trying to outdo each other. That's essentially what's happening in a Jan. It's this constant competition that pushes them to create these amazingly realistic images.
That's fascinating. So it's like they're learning from each other, pushing each other to improve,
Exactly. And then came the revolution, really, with transformer models.
like OpenAI's GPT, which seems to be everywhere these days.
Right, GPT. And it's all thanks to their ability to process information, not just word by word, but by understanding the connections between words, just like we do.
So it's not just reading the words, it's understanding the whole story, the context.
Exactly. Imagine reading a book and understanding not just the plot, but the nuances, the relationships, the emotions behind the words. That's what makes GPT so groundbreaking.
That's incredible. And OpenAI, the company behind all of this, they seem to be on a mission to make sure this technology is used for good, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, one of their founding principles.
Which is so important considering the potential impact.
It's massive. They're really committed to ethical, responsible development, making sure these tools benefit all of humanity.
That's good to hear because the potential here is, well, a little intimidating, to be
I
honest.
hear you. It's a powerful technology.
So let's unpack that a little. How do these GPT models actually work? Because honestly, I still feel like I'm only grasping the surface here. He's like, okay, I get that these models are trained on massive amounts of data, but how do they actually learn from it? It's kind of mind-boggling.
Right, it can seem like magic, but it's really about sophisticated pattern recognition on a massive scale. Imagine,
Like teaching someone to bake bread, but instead of giving them a recipe, you give them access to every cookbook ever written.
that's a great analogy. They start to see the patterns, the underlying principles,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
That's essentially what pre-training is for a GPT model. It's absorbing all this information, making connections, developing a kind of feel for language.
So they're developing a sort of intuition, like a master baker who just knows when the dough is right.
Exactly. They're learning the nuances of grammar, syntax, even the emotional undertones of language. And then comes the really interesting part, fine-tuning.
So this is where it goes from being a generalist to a specialist.
Exactly. We're taking that well-read baker and enrolling them in, say, a specialized course on artisan sourdough. They already have the foundational knowledge.
Right, they understand the basics of bread making.
Now it's about refining those skills, focusing on the specifics of that particular type of bread.
So in essence, you're taking that vast knowledge base and tailoring it to a specific task or area of expertise.
Precisely. And that's what makes these models so versatile. They can write poetry, compose music, generate code, all thanks to this two-step process.
That's incredible. And makes me think about ChatGPT, which I feel like is having a real moment right now. What makes it so special, so different?
ChatGPT takes this GPT technology we've been talking about and focuses it specifically on dialogue.
Okay, so what does it mean to fine-tune a model for conversation? That seems like a whole other level of complexity.
Think about it this way. Remember that library analogy?
Yeah.
This time, instead of reading books, you're listening to recordings of countless conversations. You start to pick up on the rhythms of dialogue, how people take turns, those subtle cues that convey meaning beyond the words themselves.
So it's like learning the art of conversation, not just the rules of grammar.
Right. ChatGPT has learned to do just that, which is why it can hold these conversations that feel so remarkably human.
It can answer your questions, tell you stories, even crack jokes, right? I mean, that's what I've heard.
Exactly. It's really quite remarkable. It all comes down to that ability to understand not just language, but how we use language to connect with each other.
It really does feel like something out of science fiction sometimes. This source material even mentions ChatGPT being used for things like customer service.
Oh, absolutely. Chatbots, virtual assistants, it's incredible.
Right. Like imagine a world where you never have to talk to a real person for customer service ever again.
I know, right? No more navigating those phone trees. You just have this AI that understands your problem, answers your
And
questions.
actually helps you solve it.
Exactly. All in a natural, conversational way.
That would be revolutionary.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about those virtual assistants? Is ChatGPT really sophisticated enough to manage our calendars and stuff?
I mean, it's definitely got the potential. But even beyond those more everyday tasks, think about the bigger picture, like education. Imagine every student having access to their own personal AI tutor.
Okay, now that's a game changer.
Right, available 24/7 to answer questions, give feedback, personalize lessons.
It's like everyone would have the tools to reach their full potential.
Exactly. Democratizing knowledge, making expertise accessible to everyone, and it doesn't stop there. Think about healthcare, for example.
Oh, wow, yeah. Like ChatGPT helping doctors make diagnoses or even assisting with surgery.
Precisely. The possibilities are really quite extraordinary.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from the early days of generative AI to these amazing things ChatGPT can do.
Huh.
So as we wrap up here, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from all of this?
That's a good question. I think the most important takeaway is that we're on the edge of a real technological revolution here.
We really are.
Generative AI, especially ChatGPT, it has the potential to transform our world. I mean, really transform it.
The way we work, the way we learn, even the way we communicate.
Exactly. It's an exciting time, but also, there's a lot to consider, ethically speaking.
That's true. But OpenAI seems committed to that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. They're all about ethical and responsible AI development, which is so crucial, especially at this stage.
It is. It's up to all of us to stay informed and make sure this technology is used for good.
Couldn't agree more.
Well said. And for our listener who's clearly as fascinated by this technology as we are, we'll leave you with this thought. If ChatGPT can do all this today, what will the future hold for AI? Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of generative AI.